You can start, Nana.
Okay. Om. ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं चैव ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। अथ श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता अथ त्रयोदशोऽध्यायः क्षेत्रक्षेत्रज्ञविभागयोगः। श्रीभगवानुवाच प्रकृतिं पुरुषं चैव विद्यनादिवुभावपि विकारांश्च गुणांश्चैव विद्धि प्रकृतिसम्भवान्। 19th कार्यकरणकर्तृत्वे हेतु प्रकृतिरुच्यते पुरुष सुख दुःखानां भोक्तृत्वे हेतुरुच्यते पुरुष प्रकृतिस्थो हि भुङ्क्ते प्रकृतिजान् गुणान् कारणं गुणसङ्गोऽस्य सदसद्यो निजन्मसु उपद्रष्टानुमन्ता च भर्ता भोक्ता महेश्वरः परमात्मेति चाप्युक्तो देहेऽस्मिन् पुरुषः परः य एवं वेत्ति पुरुषं प्रकृतिं च गुणैः सह सर्वथा वर्तमानोऽपि न स भूयोऽभिजायते ध्यानेनात्मनि पश्यन्ति केचिदात्मानमात्मना अन्ये साङ्ख्येन योगेन कर्मयोगेन चापरे अन्ये त्वेवमजानन्तः श्रुत्वान्येभ्य उपासते तेऽपि चातितरन्त्येव मृत्युं श्रुतिपरायणाः यावत् सञ्जायते किञ्चित् सत्त्वं स्थावरजङ्गमम् क्षेत्रक्षेत्रज्ञसंयोगात् तद्विद्धि भरतर्षभा समं सर्वेषु भूतेषु तिष्ठन्तं परमेश्वरं विनश्यत्स्य विनश्यन्तं यः पश्यति स पश्यति समं पश्यन् हि सर्वत्र समवस्थितमीश्वरं न हि नश्यात्मनात्मानं ततो याति परां गतिं प्रकृत्यैव च कर्माणि क्रियमाणानि सर्वशः यः पश्यति तथात्मानम् अकर्तारं स पश्यति यदा भूतपृथग्भावम् एकस्थमनुपश्यति तत एव च विस्तारं ब्रह्म सम्पद्यते तथा अनादित्वान् निर्गुणत्वात् परमात्मायमव्ययः शरीरस्थोऽपि कौन्तेय न करोति न लिप्यते Yatha sarvagatam saukshmyat akasham nopalipyate sarvatra avasthito dehe tathatma nopalipyate. Yatha prakashayetyekah krishnam lokamimam ravihi kshetram kshetri tatha krishnam prakashayati bharata. Yeah, we'll get back to verse number 19. I said I will check up, not 19, 20th verse. I said I will check up what is the meaning of that kartrutve. Karya karana kartrutve hetuhu prakritiruchyate. The kartrutve, it does not mean the bhoktrutva kartrutva bhavana. It only means in respect of the effect, and the effect is what? The body. Okay? Karya karana. Karana is the implements, like the sense organs, organs of action, the antakarana, etc. Karya karana katrutve. For rendering these from Maya, Maya is the what? Maya is Prakriti. Maya is the Upadana Karanam. Now Maya here becomes the Parinami Upadana Karanam. That Upadana Karanam which has to undergoes change. Which undergoes change. The Nimitta Karanam is what? Nimitta Karanam is Purusha. Does not undergo any change at all. Nimitta Karanam does not undergo any change. This Maya, which is Prakriti, Karya Karana Kartrutve Hetuhu. Prakriti Uchyate. Maya iti Uchyate. Okay? This I said I will find out and let you know. That's what I have gathered. Now we were on 22nd verse, is it? 22nd verse. Upadrashta Anumanta Cha Bharta Bhokta Maheshwara Paramatmeti Chapyukto Dehesmin Purusha Paraha. Isn't it? We were on 22nd verse, Ramana.
Yes.
Now, before we go forward, any doubts from yesterday's discussions?
Yeah, we Percy ji had a question.
Mhm.
Would you want to ask that, or shall I ask on your behalf, Percy ji?
Okay, ask, let me know.
The thing was, we were doing chapter 12. In that, there is Ishvaranugraha. It's all about how Ishvaranugraha is meant not to remove dukkha, but to create a situation for jnana to happen. That was the explanation Swamiji had given. So in that context, the question was, then what about miracles? Like when enlightened people go there, their pain, their suffering is just removed just by one touch or something. Isn't that also Ishvaranugraha? How do we relate miracles in this context? Was the question.
Yeah, see, some Mahatmas may have the power to relieve you of some burdens. Okay, that you may say miracles. Some Mahatmas may have the power. We can't doubt that. These Mahatmas, and because they have striven through sadhana for gaining that kind of a power, and afterwards they have as though stopped doing the sadhana, and because of that, they cannot go any higher. In their sadhana, they have come to the acme, to their zenith. People who resort to these miracles and things like that, they were satisfied with what they have acquired. And when they start exhibiting these miracles, which is perhaps not untoward, perhaps it's not as though not to be done. It is okay for the benefit of somebody, for the benefit of people who are the Mahatmas, Bhaktas. If he is doing that, that's okay. But the point to be considered is that Mahatma, I believe, as per Shastra, will have a stop in his ascendancy in acquisition of the knowledge. Okay, he has come to that stop. That's it. But he cannot give, in spite of capacity to do miracles, he cannot give you the jnanam. Jnanam cannot be given. Ajnanam cannot be removed. Apart from these kind of things, maybe you will have some comfort in his presence. Maybe the dukkha is sublimated and your confidence has grown. All those things are possible because of the powers of the Mahatma. Is that answer enough, Patsy Bhai?
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank
Now
you.
we will go forward. Thank you. Upadrashta, Anumanta, cha, Bharta, Bhokta, Maheshwaraha, Paramatmeti Chapyukto, Dehesmin, Purusha Paraha. Another information I thought I will share. When you people were chanting the first two shatkas, before we started on this 13th chapter, I was kind of counting the number of verses in each shatka. In the first shatka, that is chapters 1 through 6, the total number of verses is 280, 280. In the second shatka, from chapter 7 through 12, the number of verses is 209. Right? In the third shatka, chapters from this chapter onwards till the 18th chapter, the number of slokas is 211. So 211, 209 will make it 420 plus that 280. 420 plus 280, that makes it 700. This excludes Arjuna's introductory sloka in this 13th chapter. It excludes. Okay? That is one thing. Secondly, people may be wondering that the second shatka we thought is bigger than the third shatka. How come second shatka has only 209 verses and third shatka has 2 more verses? If you consider the 11th chapter, that is Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga, it has got 36 verses belonging to the Trishtup Chandas. Trishtup Chandas has got 44 syllables in each sloka. And such like slokas, there are 36 in that chapter. So if you consider that and equate that Trishtup 44 syllables and compare it with the 32 syllables of the Anushtup Chandas, it will appear as though the second shatka has got 222 Anushtup Chandas like slokas. That is, I have translated the Trishtup slokas having 44 syllables into 32 syllabled Anushtup Chandas slokas. If I do that, it will be 222, 11 more than the third shatka. In the third shatka also, there are some verses in the Trishtup Chandas which occur in the 15th chapter. 15th chapter, but there are only 2 or 3. They hardly matter at all. So that is how the count is now. Upadrashta Anumanta cha Bharta Bhokta Maheshwaraha Paramatmeti Chapyukto Dehesmin Purusha Paraha. Asmin Dehe Upadrashta is the seer, ultimate seer. Anumanta, he is the one who as though renders permission. Bharta Bhokta Maheshwaraha. He is the Maheshwaraha, limitless Lord, and he is the one who sustains and who is the enjoyer also. That Purushaha is the enjoyer. The Kshetrajnaha is the enjoyer. That Purusha, Kshetrajna, and this Maheshwara, these are all the same. These are all the same. In a way, the Jiva also is one of them. But the Jiva, because of Ajnana, the Kshetrajna, when he becomes Ajnana Kalushitam, he becomes Jiva. And that is how Jiva is considered separately. And Jiva identifies himself with the body, whereas Maheshwara is the very cause of the body. That and Maheshwara is the Bhokta, and he is the Karta also of the Srishti. You were coming into being, it is because of Maheshwara, that is Kshetrajna, who is the Bhokta, he is the Bharta. Okay? Now, can you lift this verse? That the PDF? Yeah. So this Purushaha, he is limitless, Paraha, ultimate Siya, Upadrashta, Permitter, Anumanta cha, Sustainer, Bharta, Enjoyer, Bhokta, Parameshwaraha, Paramatmeti Chapyukto, Asmin Dehe Purusha Paraha. He is the Supreme Purusha. Next verse, please. Ye evam vetti purusham prakritim cha gunaihi saha sarvadha vartamanopi nasa bhuyo bhijayate. Ye evam vetti purusham, evam in this manner, ya evam vetti purusham prakritim cha gunaihi saha. Whoever knows prakriti with its gunas and purusha together, sarvadha vartamanopi, even though indulging in a lot of actions, nasabhuyo bhijayate, that person will not take birth again. Samsarat adhigachyate, he will go beyond the janana marana pravaha. Yaha, the one who purusham prakritim cha, this purusham who is kshetrajnam, which is the bhokta, who is the parameshwara, prakritim cha. Prakritim is the kshetram. This is the cause for the kshetram. Prakritim cha, purusha, gunaihi saha. Okay, along with its attributes, evam veti, thus knows, sarvadha, in all ways, vartamanaha api, even though engaged in activity, saha, he, bhuyaha, again, na abhijayate, he will not be born. How come? How come? Yaha, he is sarvadha vartamanopi. When he is engaged in action, the action must have a result, and the result must kind of bind him. How come he does not take birth again? The answer is yaha purusham prakritim cha gunaihi saha evam veti. He knows thus. He knows thus means what? He has rediscovered himself. He has the Atma Anubhava. When Atma Anubhava is there, Atma is nakarta. There is no kartrutvam, there is no bhoktrutvam in the Atma. Karmani akarmaya pascheta karmani cha karmayaha sabuddhiman manushyeshu sayuktaha krishna karma krit. Even though doing every activity, he is as though liberated. And that kind of a person, ye evam veti purushaha prakritim cha gunaihi saha sarvadha vartamanopi nasabhuyo bhijayate. That is the meaning. The one who knows in this manner, Purusha and Prakriti, along with its attributes, even though engaged in all ways, he is not born again. Right? There is no kartrutva bhavana. And whatever he does, guna guneshu vartanta iti dharayan. In the 5th chapter we have seen, guna guneshu vartanta parantu aham na kinchit karomi iti tattvavitu manyeta. He will think like that. Because of that, there is no kartrutva bhavana. He is not born again. Now,
Anna, but in the previous shloka, he had mentioned he's the bhoktritva also. He's the bhokta also.
yeah, yeah. He is the bhokta in the sense, as Jiva, he is the bhokta. That as Jiva, he is the bhokta.
Okay.
The Kshetrajna, he has no need to be the bhokta. He is the very creator.
Mhm.
He is the very creator. Okay?
Yeah.
Good question. Now, how other people will come to know him, come to know this Kshetrajna, this Maheshwaraha, this Bharta, Bhokta cha, Jnanenatmani pashyanti, Kechidatmanam Anye Sankhena Yogena, Karma Yogena Chapare. Can you lift it up to the Tatparya? Yeah. Jnanena, good. Jnanenatmani pashyanti. And who is handling this PDF lifting and lifting it down?
I'm
You?
doing it. Yes.
Okay, right. Because I want to thank very immensely whoever is doing a good job. That's why I asked. Jnanenatmani pashyanti, kechid atmanam atmana, anye sankhena yogena, karma yogena chapare. There are three types of sadhakas mentioned here. Okay, who will come to know this Kshetrajna, this Parameshwara, this Bharta, Bhokta? Okay, Jnanena. Jhana means, it does not mean simple meditation. It is contemplation. Jnanena. Atmani. Atma means here the mind, the antakarana. Atmani pashyanti kechit some. Atmanam atmana. In the self, with the self. Okay? With the self, which is adequately prepared for the knowledge of the higher by contemplation. Some people contemplate and know. Jhane atmani pashyanti kechit atmanatmana. Anye, the second set of people, Sankhya Yogena. What is this? Anye Sankhena Yogena. Sankhena Yogena. Sankhena Yogena means Jnana Yogena. Like it was mentioned in the second chapter, like it was mentioned in the fourth chapter, like it was in and through the essence of the Gita Vakyas. Sankhena Yogena, by Vijnana Yogena. In the seventh chapter also, Mayi Sarvamidam Protam Sutre Manigana Yuvaha, Matta Parataram Nanyat Kinchidasti Dhananjaya. All those things they have as though realized. Anye Sankhena Yogena. Sankhena Yogena, what happens? Atmanatmana Pashyanti. This Kshetrajna is Pashyanti. Pashyanti means Darshanam Karoti. Aparoksha Anubhuti they will have. Anye Sankhena Yogena, Karma Yogena Chapare. See this Karma Yoga will not leave us till we end the 18th chapter. Karma Yoga will be hammered on and off by Bhagavan, because that is the most important thing for the large majority of bhaktas. Bhagavan himself said, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye. Amongst thousands of people, one person will strive to attain siddhi. Kaschid yatati siddhaye. Siddhi is what? Moksha. Yatatanapi siddhanam, yatatamapi siddhanam. Amongst those people who strive like that, amongst thousands of those people who strive like that, Kaschid Mam Veti Tatvataha. Only one person will know me Tatvataha in reality. So how difficult it is. How difficult it is. That is why Karma Yoga is prescribed for the large majority of people like us. Karma Yoga, Karma Anushtana in Karma Yoga Bhavanena, and together with acquisition of knowledge. This shall not be given up, because Karma Yoga will only cleanse the mind. So what? You got a cleaner mind. So what? How does it help you? How does it help anybody else? Unless you make an effort yourself for Jnana Samuparjana. So these two together are there. It's like a two bullock cart. Karma Yoga, one bullock, and another is Jnana, that is the other bullock. With that, you undertake your journey for the for the mumukshutvam. Karma yogena chapare. Jnanena, by contemplation. Atmani, in the mind. Pashyanti kechit. Some see. Okay, pashyanti kechit. Atmanam. Atmana, the self. With a prepared mind. With the mind prepared by karma yoga anushtana. Anye, others. Sankhena yogena, by knowledge. Cha apare, and others. Karma yogena, by karma yoga. By contemplation in the mind, some see the self with the self, the prepared mind. Others by knowledge, and others by karma yoga. Anye tveva majanantaha shrutvaanyebhya upasate tepi chati tarancheva mrutyum shruti parayanaha. Anye tveva
Nana,
majanantaha.
one minute. In this shloka, it seems as if there are three paths to this, no?
Not
Or
paths.
three
Not,
ways.
it's
Because
not paths. It's not paths. It is as though the bhaktas have resorted to three lifestyles. One lifestyle is pure contemplation. And contemplation of what? Contemplation of Ishvara, Paramatmeti. And how do you contemplate? Unless you have got the inputs through the Shastra. And the Shastra is the
jnana,
Jnana Sadhana for you.
pramana.
It is the Pramana for you. And through that, they have done adequate Shravanam and they have removed their minor doubts and things like that by Mananam. Now they have mature mind, which is very pure and which is capable of thinking of the higher, contemplating the truths of the Shastra as enunciated thus far to them. So it's a style of life. It's not a path. See, the endeavor of all the three is what? Three is what? Atma
Discover.
Darshanam. Atma Darshanam. It's not as though somebody is going to Colombo, another is going to Hawaii, another is going to New York. No, they're all going to the same end. Same end. Yad gatva nanivartante tadhama paramam mama. Having gone where there is no question of return. Tadhama, that dhama, that abode everyone is striving for. It's a style of life. Contemplation is one style, another jnana yogena sankhena, another karma yogena. And all these have to take the prop of jnanam. That karma yogi also will have to take hold of jnanam. Otherwise, he will have a pure mind which is useless. You have got a pure mind of what help to you? Unless you have striven to acquire knowledge of yourself, with which you start contemplating. That's it. Karma yogena chapare means ultimately they will have to start contemplating. Who you are, you have lost. And you have to rediscover yourself. How will you do that? Okay, by knocking off ajnanam.
But I think in the second chapter, he had mentioned there are two kinds of lifestyles, no? So Bhagwan had mentioned.
Through, two styles of life. Third chapter.
So third chapter. So he is including another dhyana yoga, or it's just another method
No. There is no dhyana yoga. There is only contemplation, which is part of the Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana mentioned by Acharya Yajnavalkya. Yajnavalkya in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, he mentions that to his wife. I think you people have perhaps heard this story. Yajnavalkya wins a lot of wealth in Janaka's court. And he comes back. And you know how he wins in Janaka's court? In Janaka's court, there was a contest. There were some 1,000 cows. Each cows, the two horns were decorated with golden cones. And each cow has got a bell hanging down from its neck, and that is made of gold. And the hoofs also, they're studded with gold, that kind of a thing, 1,000 of those horses. Janaka announces, now whoever wins, there is a big assemblage of lot of Adhyatmic Pandits. Okay? And in that assemblage, Yajnavalkya will be there together with his disciple. Janaka, when he announces, whoever wins the debate today regarding Adhyatma Vishayas will get all these 1,000 cows. You know what Yajnavalkya says? He tells his Shishya, hey Shishya, take all these cows home. The debate has not started. And all the other contestants, they will make a hue and cry and protest to Janaka. How come he is being high-handed? How come he thinks he has won the race? How come he thinks he has defeated us? This is uncalled for. This must be punished. Then Yajnavalkya says, you start the debate. Let us see who wins. And tells the Shishya, don't tarry here. Take the cows home. He wins the race. Not only he wins the race, and towards the end, there is a lady philosopher, Gargi. She asks a lot of wonderful questions, and Yajnavalkya answers all of them. One of those questions Gargi asked was, what is Krupanaha Swabhavaha? What is Karpanya Dosha? Gargi asks, what is Karpanya Dosha? I think we have covered this when we were going through the second chapter.
One who does not realize himself and he leaves his body is a Kripana.
Correct. Yova etadaksharam Gargi aviditva pretya saha Krupanaha. He says, without mincing any words, whoever, after having taken this human birth, does not strive to know who he is, that fellow is Krupanaha. Luckily, all of us have started the Gita. We have come 2/3 away from the beginning, and we are the blessed lot, I must say. This is all Ketaya's blessings.
Jai Gurudev, Nanaji, could you please say what is Karpanya Dosha?
Karpanya Dosha, that is, Krupana is considered a miser. Any Krupana is a miser. He has a lot of wealth. That fellow does not enjoy the benefits of having wealth. He does not eat sufficiently. He does not, dress himself adequately. He does not do any dhanam. He does not do any loka sangrahardam yajnam and things like that. None of those. He keeps on amassing and he passes away. Now, all the wealth he has acquired, has he taken even an iota of that wealth he has acquired? He is a Krupanaha.
Thank you, Nanaji.
Yeah, when that Pandit Gargi was a great philosopher, lady philosopher. She asked, what is Krupanatvam? I don't know how she asked in Sanskrit, I lost that. Now Yajnavalkya answers, Yova, whoever, Yova etat aksharam Gargi aviditva precha saha Krupanaha. That aksharam you have asked, that Krupana, Swabhavaha, what is that Krupanatvam? This Krupanatvam, aviditva, whoever, Yova etat aksharam Gargi. Aksharam is what? Aksharam is what? Kitappa said,
that does not diminish.
Aksharam Brahma Paramam.
That does not diminish.
In the beginning of the 8th chapter, he said, after Arjuna's questions, Aksharam Brahma Paramam, Swabhavodhyatma Muchyate, Bhuta Bhava Udbhava Karaha, etc. All those things. Then, when Yajnavalkya answers that, she would ask some more questions. All of them, Yajnavalkya answers. And Gargi declares to the assemblage of other Pandits who have been adequately defeated by Yajnavalkya earlier to Gargi. Gargi says, all of you please prostrate to him. You cannot defeat him. And he would have acquired all that wealth. He comes home and he has two wives. One is, the younger wife is Maitreyi. The older wife is Katyayani, I think. And he asks both of them, hey, this wealth, I am equally distributing to both of you. You enjoy. Please permit me to take to sannyasa. Then Maitreyi asks, why do you want to take to sannyasa? Mumukshutvam, he says. Okay. Then he says that. Then Katyayani says, okay, I'll take the first half you are giving. I will be okay. You can take to sannyasa. Maitreyi does not permit him. She says, by this wealth, can I gain moksha? I am also a mumukshu. Can I gain moksha? Yajnavalkya says, no. By what means can I gain moksha? Then Yajnavalkya says, Atma re. Darshitavyam. This Atma must be seen. Atma re drashtavyam. Shrotavyam mantavyam nidhijyasitavyam. To see this Atma, you will have to listen to the Shastra. Shrotavyam mantavyam. And you may have some doubts. And you keep on, ruminating on those and clear your doubts afterwards with the adequate knowledge you have acquired through the Shrotra that you have done. Nidhijyasitavyam. You will have to contemplate on what you have gained, the knowledge, verbal knowledge you have got. You have to contemplate that. You have to contemplate that. Then Maitreyi asks, what is the most lovable thing in the world? Yajnavalkya says, the questioner will be the most lovable thing in the world. Maitreyi, you are the most lovable thing to yourself. Because you love yourself, that self, Atma. Atma is the most lovable thing. Because of your capacity to love yourself, you have the capacity to love your husband. You have the capacity to love your children. You have the capacity to love what you have acquired. All these things in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad between Yajnavalkya the Rishi and Maitreyi, the discussion that goes. And Brihadaranyaka Upanishad is very rich in the dialogues between Yajnavalkya and Janaka Rishi. Janaka, he is Rajarshi, Janaka. Okay? And it's very, very rich. And from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad only, we gain the Mahavakya. What is that? Aham Brahmasmi. Aham Brahmasmi is from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. The other three Vakyas are from where? One is from Mandukya Upanishad. Mandukya Upanishad, Ayam Atma Brahma. This Atma is Brahma. This Atma is Brahma is what? Whatever you are because of Atma. You are able to listen because of Atma. I am able to talk because of Atma. Ayam Atma Brahma. And Chandogya Upanishad says what? Tat Tvam Asi, that Brahma, Tat Tvam, you Asi. You are indeed that. Not you become that. You are that. And Aitareya Upanishad says, Prajnanam Brahma. Consciousness is Brahma. Consciousness is Brahma. Consciousness. What is consciousness? Supposing you are thinking of a flower, suppose. There is a thought of the flower. In the presence of what is the thought of the flower? In the presence of consciousness. Supposing the flower is gone. You have gone to the garden where you have seen the flower. And in the garden, you have seen a small stream of water, beautiful stream, gurgling noise, and it is rolling down. The waters are rolling down. And you have the vritti, the thought process of the gurgling waters of the small rivulet, if I can say so. So the vritti is different, but it's the same consciousness which has backed the vritti of the flower in you earlier. Now it is backing the vritti of this gurgling rivulet in you. That is consciousness. Prajnanam Brahma. Prajnanam Brahma. Aham Brahmasmi. Ayam Atma Brahma. Tat Tvam Asi. And we are in the Asivakya Lakshadha. In the 13th chapter, it is the beginning of the identity that is being unfolded by Bhagavan, Krishna. Right?
Nana, I have a question on Sloka
Yes,
24.
yes.
Sloka 24, it is mentioning, you mentioned Jnana and Karma are two sides. So where is Bhakti lies here?
Okay. What Bhakti is no different from Jnana.
Okay.
Bhakti, yeah. The fructified bhakti is Jnana. Adveshta sarvabhutanam maitra karuna evacha nirmamo nirahankaraha samadukka sukakshami santushtaha satatam yogi yatatma drudanischaya yarpita manobuddhihi yo mad bhakta same priyaha. That kind of a bhakta is very dear to me. And that kind of a bhakta, what does he do? What does he do? Adveshta sarvabhutanam. He does not have the disposition of hating anybody. Not only that, positively, maitraha karuna evacha. He will have friendly disposition in respect of everybody, and he will have karuna, compassion. All those things are not simply mere bhakti. They are driven by jnana. Bhakti, the zenith of bhakti is jnana, if you allow me to say so.
See, Bhakti is more from heart. You know, Bhakti is mostly the emotional part, whereas Jnana is the knowledge. So sometimes they are, but here maybe they are same.
No, madam. Look at it this way. How do you have bhakti on Bhagavan? How? Based on what? Based on what you keep on venerating Bhagavan, bhakti bhavena. Keep on worshipping him. Why do you have to worship him? Based on what? Based on what knowledge that you have of Bhagavan, that you do bhakti of Bhagavan. Because you are told through the Shastra Vakyas that he is the Jagat Karana. He is the Karma Dhyaksha. He is the Karma Phaladata. And he is the Kshetrajna in all Kshetras. In you, in me, and everybody. And he is the Upadrashta, Anumantacha, who have covered. Upadrashta, Anumantacha, Bhatta, Bhokta, Maheshwaraha. Paramatmeti chapyukto dehesmin purusha paraha. And that Bhagavan is in me. That's what Shastra is saying. I am very keen on having darshana of this Bhagavan. That is how this bhakti is generated. And that bhakti, when fructifies, that is jnana, is it not? How is it any different? How can that be different?
No, it can culminate into jnana, that is sure, but we hear of so many innocent bhaktas in Shastras, they don't know about jnana, atma and all that, but simply love to Krishna. You know, so many stories are there. So,
Stories are there.
but
Yes.
it may be same, yeah, that way.
Yeah, you see, like in Maharashtra, there have been a lot of bhaktas, like Sant Tukaram, then maybe others, okay? And all those people, they have worshipped Vithala, thinking of no other. Ananya bhavena, avyabhicharini bhakti bhavena, they have worshipped him. Ananya yogena, and whenever they started thinking of Vithala, and there is no other thought for them, no thought of wife, no thought of children, no thought of wealth, no thought of acquisition, no thought of death, no thought of fear, nothing, because they knew that Vithala is their savior. And with that tremendous confidence and knowledge, they have worshipped Vithala, and they have really succeeded. It's a big debate between bhakti and jnana, which is better. That debate is really baseless. The bhakti, which culminates in jnana, that gives you moksha. Because bhakti alone cannot remove ajnanam. Ajnanam can be removed only by the light of knowledge. And that light of knowledge is possible through bhakti bhavena. That's okay. There's nothing wrong. And that culminates in jnanam. Okay?
Nanaji, even jnanam should ultimately have that bhakti bhava, no? That is what Adi Shankara has said, no? That whatever.
Yeah. What I am saying is, Adi Shankaracharya, people keep on debating whether he was a jnani or not. Now, I don't know why people debate regarding somebody else. I have no right to debate whether X, Y, Z is a jnani or not. Because I, not being a jnani myself, I do not have the qualification to find out whether so-and-so is a jnani. Number one. Number two, what right do I have to keep on inquiring whether so-and-so is a jnani? Number three. And after jnana, has bhakti taken to the winds? Or bhakti also is there? In the life of Shankaracharya, if you consider him as a jnani, and with bhakti bhavena, he has rendered so many stotras. So many stotras. You will wonder whether he was a bhakta or a jnani, or is it both rolled into one?
He says both are essential. He says that even finally, after giving all the Advaita knowledge and all that, Adi Shankara has said that in spite of all this knowledge, you must have that bhakti bhav. That is when you can.
Listen, what is happening is, why I was laughing is, there are two ajnanis here, you and I, right? You and I. Two ajnanis are discussing the jnana and bhakti, the supreme jnana and supreme bhakti. We have to travel a long way. Let's not get stuck with these ideals. Let us acquire the ideals. Let's really acquire. Yeah, I grant that bhakti is better than jnana, suppose.
No, I'm not saying bhakti is better than jnana. What I'm saying is even the jnani must have that bhakti in the end, because just jnana alone may give him all that awareness and all that. But
what are the attributes of a jnani?
Pardon?
What are the attributes of a jnani? What are the lakshanas of a jnani?
Very much like Bhagwan.
Very much like Bhagavan, isn't it? Does he have any inhibition in loving Bhagavan?
No, I don't think so.
He is not the sign of bhakti. He is not that a sign of bhakti.
Yes.
Is it not?
True,
One
true.
will roll into the other.
Mm.
One will roll into the other. It only remains for, minor debates between two ajnanis like you and I. But one thing, fundamentally, what is to be understood is ajnana can be removed only by jnana. Pakasya vannivat jnanam vina moksho na siddhyati. In the Atma Bodha, we have seen this verse, isn't it? Pakasya
Yes.
vannivat jnanam vina moksho na siddhyati.
But
Whether it's
that
jnani,
jnana doesn't come in the right time sometimes.
Which one?
Sometimes, even though all this jnana is as a concept I've got something, but at the time when it is needed, it doesn't come. So I am, I can't call myself that I've got some knowledge. I haven't, because I'm not applying it at the right time. It doesn't come on its own.
True. So
Unless
whatever
I start living that knowledge in the right time, isn't that is when it becomes part of me, isn't it? Nidijnana. Nididhyasana happens. But in spite of getting some wisdom and all that, when an opportunity comes, that knowledge doesn't come up as an action, at least for me. And later on, I realize, okay, after 2 hours, I realize, oh, I should have applied this knowledge.
That is because we have got only paroksha jnanam. We have got empirical verses, which we have picked up through the Shastra, through the Guru, through some satsangam, all those things. But we have not lived that. If we live that, then it's a different person. You will see.
How does that translation happen? How does that living happen?
How does it live?
You have the intention to live that knowledge, but it is not happening.
Arjuna asked this question in the beginning of the 8th chapter. Prayana kale chakadham jneyosya niyatatmabihi. Even at the end of their journey on this globe, how will people know you? That means what? Even at the end of life, how will people know you? Means while living all along, they must be always having the thought of Bhagavan. The thought of Bhagavan, his lakshanas, his swarupa, and what Bhagavan has said. You or I, he said a number of times, Jnani tvatpaiva me matam, he said. And in the 6th chapter also, he said, Atma upamyena sarvatra, sarvam cha mayi pashyati. Atma upamyena sarvatra, sarvam cha mayi pashyati. Everything will be seen in me if you have the Atma Bhavana sarvatra. So many very clear dictates he has given for us to follow. We have to follow. If it is part of our mental library, it does not help at all. Mind is already full of so much of other dirty knowledge, empirical knowledge. I am this, I am that, I am a scientist, I am a doctor, I am an engineer, I am a lawyer. So what? What do you know about yourself? What do you know? What is the knowledge you have got about yourself? And how are you living that? How are you living that? Are you putting that into practice? And what little knowledge you have picked up, are you sharing it with others? Like Bhagavan said in the 10th chapter, Machitta, Madgata Pranaha, Bodhayanta Parasparam. That knowledge you have picked up, how many people you are trying to distribute. And when you distribute, you gain clarity of the knowledge you have acquired. That manana happens when you try to distribute that knowledge. This is how one ought to gain Paramatma Bhavana. Jhanenatmani Pashyanti Kechidatmanam Anye Sankhena Yogena Karma Yogena Chapare. These are not three paths. All these culminate in Jnana only. Jhane Atmani Pashyanti. By contemplation, the Jnana only. Okay? The Jnana only lights up. Lights up what? And destroys Ajnanam. Anye Sankhena Yogena. This person, by actual Jnana Yoga, kind of, if you allow me to say so. There is no path like Jnana Yoga. By Jnanena. Others by Karma Yogena. Karma Yoga together with Jnana. This is the irrefutable truth. Because my problem is one of ignorance, delusion. How will I get rid of the delusion? How will I get rid of the darkness of ignorance? By the light of knowledge. And how do I get that knowledge? Through the Shastra Vakyas, through the Guru Vakyas, through the Satsangatvam, through Mananam, through Nididhyasanam. There's no other way. Other ways are as though available for us to keep on discussing and spoil our available time. Jhanenatmani pashyanti kechidatmanam atmana anye sankhena yogena karma yogena chapare. Can we go to the next verse?
Yes, Nana.
Yeah. Anye tvevam ajanantaha shrutvanyebhya upasate tepi chati tarantyeva mrutyum shruti parayanaha. They will also cross over mrityu. Tepi chati, tepicha ati tarantyeva. They will cross over mrityum shruti parayanaha, because they have immense shraddha in the shruti vakyas. Shruti vakyas. And anye means other people. It's not another path, other set of people in their strife for knowing themselves. Anye tu evam ajanantaha. In this way, not knowing, shrutvanyebhya upasate. Anye tu, but others, evam ajanataha. Not knowing in this manner. What is not knowing in this manner? Upadrashta, numukta cha, bhatta, bhokta, maheshwaraha, paramatmeti cha pyukto, dehesmin purusha para. Thus not knowing, evam ajanantaha, shrutva, having heard from their teachers, having heard from their well-wishers, machitta, madgata pranaha, those are all well-wishers. Bodhayanta parasparam, they will teach you. And he was kind of taught, and he had the shraddha, requisite shraddha, that what they are saying is indeed right. This is for my benefit. And upasate, they follow. Upasate means they worship, means what they follow. Te api, those also, shruti parayanaha, who are committed to what they have heard through the shruti vakyas. Mrutyum atitarati eva. They indeed will cross mrityu also. They also will cross. But others, not knowing in this manner, having heard from others, their teachers, and maybe sahayodhyayas, being committed to what they have heard, follow, and indeed they also cross death. They also cross death. That is the way. There is no other way. Mrityum shruti parayanaha. Understand that. The shruti parayanaha, they have immense shraddha in the shruti vakyas. Shruti vakyas say what? Jnanat eva tu kaivalyam nahi jnanena sadrusham pavitram meha vidyate ajnanena avrutam jnanam tena muhyante jantavaha. These are all the shruti vakyas or smriti vakyas, and in that they have immense shraddha. And with that jnana plevenaiva vrujinam santarifyasi. They get on to the boat of knowledge and they cross over the janana marana pravaha samsara, which is papa bhuyishtam, they cross over that. Right, we will see the next verse tomorrow. Hari Om. Madam, did I answer your question? You
Yes,
said
Nanaji,
bhakti,
thank you
jnanam.
so much.
Oh, thank you. Hari Om. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah. Sarve Santu Niramayah. Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu. Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om, everybody.
Hari Om, Nanaji.
Thank you, Nana.
Hari Om.
Thank you so much.